Good evening, everyone. I'm Mitch Carr, and this is your 8 Sports Report. Team USA won the World Cup. We are world champs. And just as I started this sports segment with fireworks, the ladies of Team USA did the same with tonight's World Cup final match. Good morning, Richmond. I'm coming to you from the newsroom of our sister station, Coin 6 News here in Portland. And speaking of here in Portland, the havoc has arrived. VCU hit town just after 9 p.m. local time last night. It's another beautiful, gorgeous day here in Brooklyn. There is not a cloud in the sky, but unfortunately, it will not be a beautiful day for either VCU or Richmond because they play each other, so only one of them can advance. These are one-on-ones, Texas DBs versus Redskins wide receivers, and oh, that is Jamison Crowder breaking the ankles
that hurts to
of
watch.
Kareem Jackson. We're going to slow it down so you can see it again. And we're going to slow it down so you can see it again. And down goes Kareem Jackson. But that was not all. Kareem Jackson, that's bad, and you should feel bad. But it gets even worse. Jamison Crowder going deep, and he burns him again. That was fun to watch.
Mitch, it looked like it was a rainy day yesterday.
It was a bit drizzly, and I've been told to expect that in the Northwest, but I'm standing in front of the Moda Center right now. This is where all the games are going to take place, and it's a beautiful morning in Portland.
With 8 Sports Director Mitch Carr.
So what do you have for us, Mitch?
Well, it's not every day you see a sitting senator in spandex, but former Virginia Governor Mark Warner made it happen. He also had a nice helmet on. Of course, safety first. Warner had time to pose for pictures with Team USA, both the men and the women. These are the folks that are going to be riding with the red, white, and blue all this weekend and next weekend in Richmond. One final 8 Sports Blitz. It's a very special occasion ship, not just because it's the last one, because we had some incredible football tonight. What's going on is there is a lot of support right here for Coach Shaka Smart. As you mentioned, Steve Patterson is on the ground, and for all we know, he could be meeting with Shaka Smart as we speak right now. And for as far as these fans are concerned, he might as well be bringing death, not just a contract offer. They love their coach, and they do not want to see him go anywhere.
The MLB All-Star Weekend will feature the league's pitch, hit, and run program's youth skills competition. The Washington Nationals have chosen their representative, and she hails from Henrico County. Mitch Carr has the story.
Ew, no.
Kayla Stevens does not like dresses.
Because they're all floppy on the bottom.
And she really doesn't like ponytails.
I don't know, I just like it down.
What she does like is baseball. And she can hit and spit just like the boys.
Because I'm like the only girl that I am, and I get teased a lot.
What do they tease? What do they say to you?
They're like, you have cuties and stuff.
Kayla doesn't have cooties. She's got skills. She's an all-star for Lakeside Community Little League. And next month, she'll represent the Washington Nationals in Major League Baseball's pitch, hit, and run contest at the All-Star Game in Cincinnati.
I think she's amazing.
She's tough. She hangs in there.
Kayla's mother, Teresa, and her father, Sherwood, will join Kayla at the Great American Ballpark.
She's pushing herself to the limits, and she just loves it. She enjoys it. I like seeing her being able to use the skills that, that she's been given.
Win or lose, Sherwood is using the baseball experience to teach his daughter a thing or two about boys.
Just don't take nothing, you know what I mean? If they dish it back.
And Kayla is learning plenty on her own. Like what to say if someone tells her she can't do something.
Just say, no, that ain't true.
Mitch Carr, 8 Sports.
For the last 2 days, more than 1,000 local swimmers ages 5 to 18 have been competing in the James River Aquatic Club Swimming Championships in Henrico. 8 Sports Director Mitch Carr stopped by and takes you poolside for the story.
Heat number 1, please step in.
James River Aquatic Club Swim Champs.
Take your mark.
I think the youngest like 5 or 6, and it goes all the way up to like 18 years old.
It is very, very crowded, very, very loud. Standing shoulder to shoulder with, hundreds of people.
Yeah, the walls just start to shake.
It's crazy in there.
I think they just hear the roar of the crowd, but I do think they all swim faster because of it.
It's like a wave of heat hits you in the face, and then you get the smell.
A lot of sweat. Sweat and chlorine.
It smells like chlorine in there, but it smells like a swimming pool, and it smells like a championship.
What's everybody wearing out here?
The Speedo is like underpants. The cap is very smooth.
When I put my swim cap on, they say it looks like a mushroom or a light bulb. Freestyle, backstroke, breaststroke, IM, and the most important one.
Meet always comes down to the relays at the end of the second day.
There's a lot of tension.
Place your feet.
You're like super nervous when you're on the blocks. Once you jump in and get in the water, you really feel it, and it feels awesome.
You lose all kind of nervousness when you get in the water. It's not about like how you finish. It's like, because it's fun.
Well, you did great. I'm so proud of you. I need to get back to work.
Is your boss going to see this?
Yeah, he probably is. Hey, but it's really fun watching him swim.
Westwood would go on to win the meet for a second year in a row, but everybody got to go home with a trophy.
There was a spot that RIR ran a while back to promote their races. Had a little kid, a little Matchbox car on the walls right out here behind you, moving along, and I was told that your mother said, that's Denny right there. What memories do you have of RIR growing up?
Sitting in Commonwealth C over there. That's where our family tickets were for many, many years, and I just remember, watching so many laps around this racetrack. And that's a lot of the reason I feel like I feel like I'm pretty good at this track, is I've just watched so many laps sitting from the other side of the stands. But thinking that I've been in the sport for 10 years now, it's still surreal to me to kind of go up and do my suite appearances before the race and look down and see my car on the grid, knowing that I'm about to compete in this race.
10 years since your rookie year, but man, you have been racing since you were 7. And I got a little secret for you. I had like a half-an-hour conversation with your mother before I interviewed you. She gave me some insight. She said that, well, we had to wait until he was 7 to put him in a go-kart. And I said, 7 sounds kind of early. How did you know you already wanted to race by then?
I just knew, and a lot of it was just, I came here, and I remember as a kid, I was 5 years old when the bug hit me. I was closer to the fence than I was supposed to be. And I could just smell the tires and the fuel and like the rubber. And I was like, this is awesome. And the car's flying by. And I was just like, this is what I wanted to do.
Your mother said that in elementary school you were having a little trouble with math. And the teacher called her and she was so excited. She said, oh, I broke through. I got to him. I put everything in racing terms. Do you remember that?
I do. And you've clearly spent too much time with my mother.
You spent some time at a couple different elementary schools in Midlothian. You eventually made it to Bailey Bridge Middle School, and then Manchester High School. What can you tell us about young Denny?
He's a troublemaker. I spent more time getting kicked off the bus than I did doing what I should have done. But before I could actually ride a bicycle, my parents said I would just push it, and I would run beside my bike. Because I didn't have training wheels, I just would push the bike just as fast as I could run. And I always wanted to race in everything that I wanted to do. So I just always had that racing bug. And then my brothers and sisters that were much older than me, we had a pedal car that they thought it'd be fun to kind of, Dukes of Hazzard me, over jumps. And while I was in it, they thought it was funny to push me over hills and ramps and stuff and watch me crash. But I thought it was pretty fun too, so.
You must have been the youngest, because I had the same experience with a BMX bike.
Yeah.
When I look back at my high school career, all I can think about is a guy named Craig Lebrano who died my senior year from a heat-related injury. He's 78, still is over there on our field house. The top lineman in the state of Virginia. We went to Montrose Elementary together. People talk about race divide and black people and white folks and whatever. He hung out in my neighborhood with all black guys, and he was accepted. I hung out in his neighborhood. I didn't know what was going on, but I was accepted.
That's something you were able to take with you as you went to college and you went to the pros.
Yeah, man, I went to Happy Valley. Are you kidding me?
What is the race balance up there? Is there any?
Oh my God, man. When I was going to in state college, wasn't many black kids out there, man, but I loved it. It gets you ready for the real world. In the real world, you're not going to just be around people that look like you. You're not going to be around people, everybody that thinks the same way or has the same education. You have to figure things out. You have to get along with people. I could walk at any hood here in Richmond, any projects, any place where people would consider negativity coming from that area, and I was protected. People I didn't know. It's like, nah, he can't be around this. You're not going to be the one mess up.
You had a whole community that wanted to see you make it.
Absolutely. That's why when I say I'm indebted to this community, I don't know if people really understand that. My mom, she said, I'm not gonna lose you to these streets. A day after my senior graduation here at Verona, a really good friend of mine, we went to a party. I got into this big fight. It was on the news. Nobody knew it was, it was me, but it was a big fight. We shouldn't have been there. And I remember my mom and my brother pulling up at the hotel at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And she said, "You're gone." And I'm like, "I'm gone? What do you mean?" She called Joe Paterno at 4:30 in the morning. And she said he will be there at 11 a.m. tomorrow. That was the last time I lived here in Richmond. The night of my graduation, I left the next day.
Wow. So she got you the heck out of here, even though I'm sure she wanted to keep you close because she loves you.
Again, she said, "I'm not gonna lose you to these streets, even if I gotta cry every night because you're gone. You won't get lost to these streets, not on my watch."
This is Skipper, Parney Parnell, and little buddy, Dennis Bickmeyer from Richmond International Raceway.
Gilligan. And that is what happens when you give Parney the mic. Today at the Dominion Club, the Flying Squirrels and the folks from RIR got together to raise money for their respective charities. Last year, they raised about $20,000. This year, they expected something in that neighborhood. I'm Mitch Carr. This is the 8 Sports Report, and that was all fun and charity today, but Wednesday, there is real business at Richmond International Raceway. It's testing time. That's something that's usually a more private affair, but Wednesday, it's open to the public. Jeff Gordon and Carl Edwards will be there, along with 6 to 10 other drivers.
We're going to open up to the public from 10 to 5, give them a little taste of what's coming up in September for the one last race to make the chase. So looking forward to having the fans come out. Should be a lot of fun. Again, you get everybody up close and personal to the sport. It's a great opportunity.
Saturday night in Petersburg, Petersburg High School inducted its inaugural Hall of Fame class. Moses Malone, Mark West, Paul Webb, and 6 others are now enshrined, and 8 Sports was there. Saturday night in Petersburg was a long time coming.
Petersburg is almost 100 years old, but we have so many athletes that have gone through and done a great job.
Bill Lawson III organized the new Hall of Fame. His father was one of 9 inductees. All of them were members either of the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame, the Virginia High School League Hall of Fame, or both.
It is an awesome feeling. It's a very humbling feeling, that your city and your school think enough of you to put you in the Hall of Fame, the first ever class. It's also like a mini reunion.
I got my teammates here. It's kind of weird because my college coach also went to Petersburg High, so he's back here too. So far, it's been a wonderful experience for me to see a lot of people that influenced me in my life.
What is it about Petersburg that makes it so talent-rich?
Well, it could be the water in the Appomattox River. Outside of that, I don't know.
Rain's really messing up the schedule in Omaha, but Virginia and Florida are still scheduled to take the field in a couple of hours. This is a winner's bracket game, so whoever loses will still be alive, but the winner is guaranteed 2 more games, and they also get a day off while they wait to find out who has to beat them twice. The margin of error is invaluable.
It's huge to be able to have, that kind of longer break, but also to go 2-0 into basically what is kind of like a regional final. So, I mean, it's a really big game. The first one was just as big.
And before we go, Lord Stanley's Cup will be in the building tonight in Chicago. The Blackhawks can lift it with a win over the Lightning. We'll have highlights at 11 unless the game goes into overtime. That's it for sports. I'm Mitch Carr, and we'll be right back.